We want to bring in Daniel Turner. He is the founder and executive director of Power the Future. And we're going to talk a little bit about the things that maybe we should be doing right now. Daniel, welcome to the program.
Oh, it's great to be on with you, Glenn. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I don't know if you saw Mark Andreessen's tweet yesterday, but he said we should be building 1,000 nuclear plants all around the world starting today. We're not going to do it, but there's a lot of logical things that we should be doing today. One of them is get off our dependence of Russian oil.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of the problems that we're experiencing right now have begun 14 months ago with the Biden administration. And I'm not pinning the Ukraine invasion on him, but I am saying we've been tinkering. This administration has been really punishing the America's energy industry, specifically the fossil fuel industry, for months and months. And when oil hit $70 a barrel and $80 a barrel, the White House was silent. Well, now it's at 100. And Joe Biden saying he wants to do something. So it's a little bit too late. Energy is one of those issues that people don't want to pay attention to until it starts to they feel the pinch at the purse, right? Yeah, exactly. But, we need serious energy policy and not Greta Thunberg, not John Kerry, right? We need serious energy policy because it is national security as well.
I keep hearing him say we're going to tap into the strategic oil reserve. Hang on just a second. On one hand, people are talking about World War III and the biggest conflict possibly since World War II. Oil was kind of important. That's why we have the strategic oil reserve. And so he's telling the West we should release more from our strategic oil reserve while we're facing this. No, open a frickin' pipeline.
Yeah. Oil is so important to the world economy that even this administration has not sanctioned Russian oil. Germany and Italy today bought more natural gas than they did yesterday from Russia. In fact, Putin has increased the amount of natural gas exports because he knows he has Europe on the hook, and he's using that to his leverage. And so, look, we have to stop being Play-Doh. There is this ideal world. We all need to live up to it. And we all need to be better. But the reality is our economy, our military, the world runs on fossil fuels right now. And whether or not we want to change that is one conversation. But the reality is punishing fossil fuels now in the hopes of a better tomorrow has made us weak now. And Vladimir Putin is taking advantage of that weakness.
This is exactly what the Great Reset is about. The ESG scores. Energy is the first thing, and we're committing national suicide, and it's not just national. The entire West is committing suicide, and I don't understand it. And is that hyperbole?
No, not whatsoever. And look, when this administration began, and Joe Biden said, which I believe is a flat out falsehood, but when he said the generals tell him climate change is our biggest national security threat. I'm sorry, if anyone really said that to you in the military, that person should be fired today. Yeah. And any politician, Republican or Democrat, this is not a partisan issue. Many Republicans went to the Glasgow Climate Summit to learn how to tackle climate change. We can have a conversation about the environment, but if you genuinely believe in your heart of hearts, looking at the global stage, that climate change is the biggest threat, then you do not deserve elected office. You are a danger because Russia is a threat, China is a threat, Iran is a threat, North Korea. And these rogue regimes, unfortunately, as the prices of oil have gone through the roof, have become richer. And what does Iran do when they have more money? They launch attacks on Israel and they launch attacks on the UAE, and they fund their nuclear bombs program. And what does Russia do when they have more money? They build their army. Right. So, again, it's this fight against reality that you can have a conversation about the environment, but there are real threats, and we need to put on our big boy pants and face the real world we live in.
Even if you believed that climate change was the existential threat and the largest threat against all of humanity. If you really truly believed that, and you make the moves to stop American oil and everything else, does that explain why we are not sanctioning the Russian oil? We're increasing our imports of Russian oil, and we seem to be making it easy for Iran to flood the market with their oil. I don't understand this. Why wouldn't you go to America and just say, hey, it's temporary, but we need you right now to relieve the pressure? I don't understand it.
For the first time in nearly 40 years, America has been purchasing Iranian oil. Very quietly, the administration clearly did not put out a press release. But you say, why is America buying any oil from Russia, from Iran?
Wait. When did that happen? I've not heard that.
Started in April of this year. And we've purchased about 1 million barrels of oil from Iran. Now, there's going to be an argument, and they're going to say I'm playing fast and loose with the nuance because we purchase a lot of oil from the world and we refine it, particularly in the Gulf. Right? We have the world's largest refining capabilities. Also, something China's trying to compete with us on, but that's another conversation. But we are the world's largest refiner. So this crude that comes out of the ground has to get refined. So we buy Russian, we buy Venezuelan, but we don't need to buy any oil if we produced enough ourselves. And we're not. We're producing 2 million barrels fewer than we did just a few months ago before Biden became president. And the reason why we're producing so much fewer oil is because this administration has made it impossible to produce. You mentioned the ESG movement, where every agency is looking at climate change when it comes to permitting, land access, permits in the Gulf of Mexico, on federal land, fracking moratoriums, pipeline construction. So all of these cumulative actions have made production of oil domestically hard. Of course, we have to get it from somewhere else. So why not Russia? Why not Iran? Why not Venezuela? Why not put a bullet to our head? Because that's what we're doing by enriching our enemies.
Let me ask you, when Obama said that he was going to stop the drilling, I think it was in the Gulf, the deep sea drilling, the concern was that if you stop that, you're not getting a lease on those deep sea drills for another 20 years. They're not coming back, and you just don't make them overnight. With the damage that has been done just to the economy and to the oil and gas industry, are we doing permanent damage, or are these things just going into mothballs and we can turn this around quickly?
We can turn it around, but I don't think quickly. This is a very capital and labor intensive industry. And even if all of the permitting is in place and the government is a friend of the industry, which we want, like we saw under President Trump, it really took till the end of 2018, the beginning of 19, for the industry to produce as much as it was. And so it did take 2 solid years of believing that the government wasn't going to punish you. You look at something like Keystone, that was 10 years and $1 billion in the making, and then the rug was pulled out from under it, and all that money is lost. So who's going to invest in the oil and gas industry right now if you think the government can shut it down? And that's one of my pet peeves, Glenn, and you can hear my voice getting angry.
Oh, I know.
This administration, Jen Psaki will say, well, oil at $90 a barrel, you would think these rich fat cats would invest. It's not that they don't want to invest. It's that they know it's a risky investment because government is going to punish you. Deb Haaland, the Interior Secretary, is going to punish you. The EPA administrator. Biden is talking about Fed nominees who look at banking issues through the lens of climate change. So if you need a $50 million loan from the bank to finance this industry,
get it.
No, because the bank's not going to lend it to you because the Federal Reserve is going to raise your base points and penalize you. So again, this administration is punishing the industry from every angle, and then they have the gall to say, well, they better not raise prices to take advantage of this, like it's our fault. When Elizabeth Warren blamed big meat, remember that one?
Yeah.
She said all the meat industries together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's offensive.
I will tell you, I don't understand what's happening to us unless the president and this administration and those on the left have an agenda that is clearly not in step with the traditional American. I mean, this is self-inflicted wounds, and they're soon going to be mortal. What are you thinking about the gas and oil prices and what's coming with this war in Ukraine?
Yeah, it's down a little bit today, which is good news. But I think overall, if this continues, and I don't think Putin is going to stop until he has everything he wants in the Ukraine, and maybe even more, you could easily see gas at $150 a barrel like it was in 2008. You mean 125 by the end of March is very feasible. And that means $6 and $7 gallon of gas. But, your audience knows there are millions, literally millions of products that are made from fossil fuels. And so when the price of fertilizer goes up, when the price of pesticides go up, everything goes up in price. And so when you go to the store and you buy your chopped meat and it's expensive, it's the cow's diet, the transportation, the butcher, the slaughterhouse, the packaging, the plastic, all of that stuff gets added onto your cost. You're ultimately the one going to suffer. And that's the frustration. This administration, before Putin even launched his first incursion, this administration was willing to let the American people suffer because they are so eager for this green revolution, these renewables, that they had to punish fossil fuels. They wanted fossil fuels to be the bad guy so that maybe you would go to the government and say, please, Mr. Biden, please give us a Green New Deal. Please give us a Build Back Better. We can't afford this anymore. And that's the really sad thing. They were willing to punish the American people for their agenda. And that's not just un-American, unpatriotic. Quite frankly, it's immoral and it's evil.
Yeah, I agree with you. Daniel, thank you so much. The founder and executive director of Power the Future, Daniel Turner. God bless. We'll talk to you again. You bet.